right away here. At least that's what I'm hoping.
Give me 1 second here. I'm pulling everything up right. Oh, where'd it go? Twitch app decided to just want to stop all of a sudden. Give me one moment. I don't want to miss any of this action.
For sure.
There we go.
I know it's hard to handle all those chocobos that were on the screen. We're off to this race here. So I'm gonna let you cover a little bit here while I quickly do a little bit of my restream magic.
Of course. So, what we have here is a good old race between Cool Pants Guy and longtime runner and everyone's aspiration, Mr. Puwexil. So, let me see if I can. Hey, there you go. I don't need you. Move so loud. There we go. So, starting off with the beginning, as always, welcome to the Kefka and Narshe race, everybody. This is another round one race between Cool Pants Guy and Puwexil. So, as soon as I finish setting up some stuff here, we're just going to be going over the regular beginning of the race here, which is always question mark is going to need to stay in the fight. Everyone else is going to need to run away so she can get as much experience as possible. So a fun little thing about how that works is that each character has a run meter, and then the conditions for running away is that hidden meter needs to be filled, and their ATB needs to be filled as well. As such, what we do is during attacks, we're going to go ahead and queue an attack. Hey, there we go. We're going to queue an attack, and then we're going to run away during the animations of those attacks. And if you see here, as on Puwexil's stream right now, Puwexil actually manages to run away with just Vixen Wedge. So how experience works in this game is the more characters you have in a battle at the end of the battle, we have the more experience that gets divvied out. But because we don't use Vixen Wedge, that's going to get me every time. I keep wanting to say Biggs and Wedge. So for Vixen Wedge, we don't use them throughout this run. So what we're going to want to do is just get rid of them so Terra can be level 6. That's going to be a very important part of this run, because getting Terra to level 6 will determine a lot of the experience routing and just making it so we're right at that level we need to be, so we can fight bosses and do everything that we're going to need to do throughout the entirety of the run. So here we are on our first major boss here, which is Welk. He's basically our tutorial boss. So what we're going to want to do here is we're going to want to hit the head of Welk with 3 magic tech missiles. So we're just going to go ahead and use Terra and fire those magic tech missiles off. But unfortunately, the shell actually has its own specific ATB as well, which when the ATB is filled, it'll pull the head into the shell, thus making it so we can't actually target the head. But through a little bit of counterattack magic, once you attack the shell, it'll counterattack with that lightning. And if we do it at the right time, which it looks like Puwexil got perfectly, the shell will not pull the head in, and we can hit it with that 3rd magic tech missile and get the quick kill. Looking like Cool Pants Guy didn't get the quick kill, as you see, as the shell managed to pull the head back in. So his fight's going to take a little bit longer. Oh, Vix and Wedge are down. My personal opinion is that's where they need to be. So we're going to go ahead and go through some extra story here. Are you still there with me, Rico?
Yes, I'm still here with you.
Oh, okay. So it's me and you commentating this run, correct?
Yes, it is. It is going to be us two. Yeah.
Okay.
I am here, and I'm just gonna kind of fill in where I can, and I'm gonna let you take away from most of the part.
Oh, okay. So feel free to shut me up anytime you want.
For sure.
Okay. So what we have here is a meeting of the minds between Question Mark and Tritalk, where Tritalk's like, "Hey, I know you," and poor Question Mark is like, "I have this slave crown on. I don't know what's going on." So Tritalk says, "Hey, Wedge and Vix, you were down. You're gonna have to stay down and go away while I talk to my girl." So, luckily, one of the guys from Narshe, a good, happy, upstanding citizen, he's part of the returners. Upstanding citizen, saves our girl, who is known as Terra, because she's gonna remember her name. But we're gonna go ahead and rename her to T. The reason we do that is because we have scrolling text, which means characters show up on the screen one at a time. So what we're going to want to do is reduce the length of her name so the least amount of characters can show, so we can get through text boxes as quickly as possible. So unfortunately, the Empire kind of wants back the Magitech armor, and they want back T pretty badly. So they probably leaned on Narshe a little bit to try and pick up our girl T. So we're gonna beat a quick retreat out here. But before that, we are gonna go ahead and walk through this cave, and we're gonna, if we're right, yep, I'm sure Puwexil is actually on a step route here. He's gonna get a set number of encounters. So before the race, I'm sure Puwexil did it, and I'm pretty sure Cool did it as well. He is probably on the step route as well.
Yeah, I was watching while I was setting up the restream here. I was watching Coolpantsguy actually do his seed manipulation, so...
Okay, very good. So he's going to go ahead and be on the same step route as Puwexil here. So we're going to get just enough encounters to get the level 6. We're going to take all the encounters up to right before the story trigger happens, and take one additional encounter to get her to level 6, which is going to be very important. So the reason why we want to get Terra to level 6 is so that subsequent party members that will join at a specified level. For Locke, it's going to be Terra's level +1, and then every character after that is going to be the average level of our party.
So for this run, all we're doing is we're running up to the point where Kefka escapes at Narshe.
Yes, that is the goal of our tournament here, as it is called the Kefka at Narshe tournament. We have many categories for Final Fantasy VI. This one is kind of a not really half, but a third of the run completion before we can hit time and call GG. The regular categories can be a little bit longer, except for I believe it's the any %, but yeah, they're within the like 3 to 4 hour marks typically. But we run this tournament for intro, as an intro category for people who want to learn Final Fantasy VI but might be intimidated in learning an entire run.
Yeah, these tournaments are mostly just to get people interested in speedrunning, and it's really a great way. Because you learn a good chunk of the game, and then if you do like it, you can continue to pick up the game. Yes, and the any % is technically shorter than Kefka at Narshe.
Yes, it is, but we're not running that because reasons. So, personally, this is how I started off. I started with the Paladin % to start myself on RPGs, and then I found the Kefka at Narshe tournament, which has been I've had a blast doing this category. It's so much fun. So we have our girl T unfortunately falling through a hole here and having her flashback. So we're gonna have to go ahead and we're gonna have to find someone else to save the day right now. Some random girl on the right there. I'm not quite sure who she is, but we might see her in the run. We might not. We'll see. Paladin % is the shorter category run for Final Fantasy IV. So it's where Cecil we play through the game until Cecil becomes the paladin. So here comes everyone's favorite treasure hunter, and he is, I'm going to repeat this every time, he is a treasure hunter, not a thief. So good old L here, or Locke as we affectionately know him as, has been called to save our girl T. The man who saved Terra is, as I said, part of the Returners, and she seems to be a very important part of the Empire, so we're going to want her on the Returners side. Slave crown and all. Just dirty business everywhere. So this part of the game is always fun because with this part is the intro to a new type of minigame where we're going to go ahead and try and defend T from oncoming mobs. So we're going to have a team of 3 as soon as the mobs show up, and we're going to go ahead and try and defend her. So what we would normally do is we would strategically place our teams so that they would block all the enemies. So at said point, after we defeat all the enemies, we would go and fight the final boss. But as speedrunners, we really don't have time for that, and we're just going to walk up to the final boss and we're just going to punch him. coolpantsguy is having these really nice names for the characters, naming Terra Toot and Locke Loot. So the mechanics for this is pretty nice. As these as the characters walk forward, if you walk past them while their leg is up, you won't actually trigger their encounter. So we can go ahead and squeeze by these guys, so to speak, so we can get to the final boss before they get over to Terra. So, fun little note here, we're going to go ahead and do a little runaway manipulation here so we can get our Mog's ATB up in case the Marshal decides to use net, which is a stop move. So, stop, it makes it so we're unable to make commands with the characters, which is very important because what we want is we actually want to take the spear and possibly the shield off Mog. Mog being the only character we can do that from because he's actually a party member that can join us later on. And then, yep, Puwexil is going to go ahead and take the spear and the shield because we're going to go ahead and use that later on. Mog, he doesn't see any real play in this category, so we're just going to go ahead and borrow that from him.
Well, we do get to see another one of those Moogles again later on.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir. We'll cover that when we get there. It was obviously that blonde chick that was in the flashback that we're gonna see later on. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
Stuff happens. Just random stuff happens in this run. It is very well programmed, and there's no one that breaks it. So Locke is gonna go ahead and save T here, and he's gonna escape, and they're gonna go ahead and make their way down to Figaro, where we'll go ahead and meet our next character. But before that, we're going to have to travel the overworld a little bit, which is pretty cool. So as being on a step route, the overworld actually has these tiles that are non-encounter tiles, which doesn't make our step counter move forward, and we can't trigger an encounter on there, which is very important for the step route. So if you watch Puwexil here, he's going to only get 2 encounters on the way down. Whereas if we weren't on a specified seed, we may get more than 2 encounters. We may get 2 encounters. We could get 1 encounter. But for this particular run, and most runs for as far as I know, we definitely want to be on a specified seed and encounter manipulation. So Puwexil is going to go ahead and get his 2 encounters here and then walk down to the castle. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Shift some things around real quick. There we go. Everything's good. So these guys seem to know Locke, so they just let him straight in. Meanwhile, coolpantsguy is going to go ahead and finish up his amnesia scene right here. But we're going to go ahead and talk to the king, because the king is going to help us out here. So, say hello to everyone's favorite lecherous King E here, Master of Machinery, King of Figaro. has a nice ponytail. So just stick a pin in that right there, that he is a master of machinery. He is a great engineer. He went to college, got his doctorates in engineering, not in PhD, in engineering, and he has a nice castle, so he's gonna say go ahead and walk around and take it in. So luckily for us, that we actually know where the story triggers are, so we're going to go ahead and wander around a little bit to advance the plot. You got a doctorate and PhD, correct. Not lecherous, just a flirt. Yeah, sure. One or the other. I don't know. I've never met the guy. I can't cast judgment. So we're going to go ahead and walk over to the West Tower over here and trigger a flashback where we'll learn about Edgar's little brother. I believe they're twins, right?
I'm not sure if they're twins or not. I haven't really read the text in this game.
I always remember them to be twins, but my memory is not always perfect. But
yes,
Edgar
they are twins.
Okay, so Edgar is the older twin, and our boy with the giant muscles and the giant chest here is the younger twin, and we're going to go ahead and rename him as S. He's personally my favorite character, Sabin. So, going off on the chat, he has a master in English. I think he has a master's in liberal arts. We'll say it's in liberal arts. So we're going to go ahead and go back, and since we triggered the piece of story that we need to know about, we're going to go back and talk to the king and trigger the next piece of story we need to know about, where we're going to go, unfortunately, find out about the main antagonist of the game with the most famous laugh of all Final Fantasy. I'm going to say the most famous laugh. You have every opportunity to say who has a more famous laugh. I already know who we're going to say is going to be Titus, but I think his laugh is the most famous. Give me 1 second here. All right. So Kefka's coming to look for his girl T. So he thinks she might be in this castle, so he's going to go ahead and grill the king a little bit. So he's going to say, hey, I heard someone was here. We're looking for her. Coolpantsguy has some really nice names. I'm actually enjoying his name. He named Sabin Soup. So Edgar went ahead and said, yo, she's not here. And well, I mean, he's not a liar. She's not here. She's going to be over in the East Wing. So no lying being done here. Kefka went ahead and bought it. So he's going to go ahead. He's going to go ahead and go back to the Empire and say nothing to be seen here, sir. Nothing to be seen.
And one thing that's kind of funny in this point is Locke actually is like, hey, follow me. And we just cut right in front of him.
Well, I mean, we know where we're going. And it's not like Locke is... Well, I can't even say that because at some point he teleports in front of us. I'm not really sure how he does that. He's not Shadow. He's not a ninja, but he just manages to do it. I mean, like I said, master of machinery. There's teleporters in that castle. Walks through the door and somehow some guy's in front of you.
Or he's just in training to become a ninja. He's a thief.
Oh,
Isn't that like the first step?
Sir, treasure hunter. I will throw every piece of litigation to defend my client. But Edgar is going to go ahead and take a nap because as much as this makes sense, apparently we're going to burn down the castle in the middle of the day as all our stone and steel is on fire. Burning stone has always been my favorite part of chemistry and physics. So, Usually in a casual playthrough, you would want to go ahead and talk to Kefka, but we don't have time for that, so we're just going to go ahead and trigger the next here. So with this one, we're going to go ahead and escape from Kefka by defending the castle, or jumping on chocobos and running away like scared little dogs. So, but the castle's burning down, but we don't have to worry about that, because remember that little part about Master of Machinery? I'm sure Edgar has a perfectly reasonable plan, and by reasonable I mean his castle's gonna transform like a transformer and dive under the sand like a submarine, because castles can do that, right? So it's gonna dive under the sand. That will put out the fire for sure, because that's how the real world works. And the castle is going to get away while we're running away on chocobos. So, unfortunately, the gas mileage on Magic Tech armors is a little bit faster than chocobos, so we're going to go ahead and have another fight here. So, here's an interesting part of Final Fantasy VI: is each character actually has a unique command that they can use. As we see here, our friend Locke can use Steel. They couldn't fit Treasure Hunter, or Treasure Hunt there, so they had to put Steel in there. And our buddy Edgar can use Tools, so we can find tools throughout the games and buy tools. And luckily for us, he comes equipped with the auto crossbow, which is going to dispatch these Magic Tech armors very easily. So 2 auto crossbows and we're done. So a little neat feature of the auto crossbow is that when you're in the back row, you do the same amount of damage as if you were in the front row. So luckily for that back attack, we can use auto crossbow at its full capacity. And we don't use Terra in that fight, because if she uses magic, we trigger a very long cutscene that we don't need to be hearing people fawn over magic right now. We're in a rush here. We're trying to get the Narshe. I mean, the Returner's hideout. Narshe will come later. So, we're little lore hit right here. Edgar is actually part of the Returners as well, and he's going to convince good old T here that they should go ahead and meet their leader, Bannon.
So I just have to point out something here, and that's the fact that right now we aren't on chocobos, and we're about to ride these chocobos. We aren't going to get off these chocobos until we hit a cave. We just have to keep that in mind for when we hit the town that's coming up.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, on these chocobos, we're going to go ahead and go over here, because we know how to ride chocobos. That's a very important thing to know, but we're going to go ahead and walk through this cave. And remember that little thing about experience that I was talking about? Yeah, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to fight everything in this cave, because we're going to want to be a certain level. We're going to want to be at a certain level before we actually fight the next boss. So, because we will get our next character when we fight the next boss. So, luckily for us, the auto crossbow in all its glory will usually dispatch all these enemies with one shot, but Terra and Locke are there, so they have attacks queued up just in case they don't. So, nice preemptive there for Puwexil. Meanwhile, on coolpantsguy side, he's already put an arrow in the knee of the Magic Tech armors. Nice and easy. That's an interesting point. I'm trying to find this button that bops Lynn, but it just doesn't seem to be working. I must not have enough power yet. But Puwexil's going to go ahead and walk through this cave easy peasy. There's no real threat of dying here, and he knows what encounters he's going to get on what tiles as well. So, back to the overworld here, we're going to walk in a very funny way, kind of walk like a duck down the town, because there's, I believe it's 7 tiles we want to hit on that section there to get over with non-encounter tiles. So, meanwhile, we're going to go in here and buy our speedrunning item, the sprint shoe. So, Sprint shoes will let us walk faster on certain maps, like in towns and in dungeons. So look at Puwexil go. He's got his running shoes on now. And we'll go ahead and talk to this Chocobo vendor and get a Chocobo, who he will explain to us how to ride a Chocobo when we've already rode a Chocobo.
I think the best thing is he asks you, want to know how to ride them? He doesn't give you an option to say no. He's just like, well, this is how you ride them anyways. I don't care if you know.
I mean, he's just a really good parent. A parent will tell you, listen, you want to know how to do this? Come, sit down. We've been over this 5 times, Dad. No, sit down. He's a very responsible Chocobo loan officer. Yeah, he's got to make sure you have your license to ride a Chocobo. It's very important. So, unfortunately, going through this cave is actually, or mountainside, is a little bit different because these enemies are a little bit stronger than, well, we're willing to take on right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make a quick detour, pick up this Atlas armlet, which is a relic, and it will increase the strength of Edgar and also increase the strength of his auto crossbow, which will let him actually one-shot a lot of these mobs. If he decided he wanted to fight these brawlers, he can actually one-shot the brawlers with the auto crossbow as well. But because we're on a step route, we know what specific places we should get encounters where we can actually maximize our experience. So he's going to fight this Tusker and Cypresses. So what we're going to want to do here is we're going to want to cast Fire with Terra and auto crossbow with Edgar, and that will take care of everything. The Tuskers are a little bit more hardy than the other enemies here, so we're going to actually...
Yeah, and also, now that we've come out of the cave that we were originally in, the magic cutscene will no longer happen at this point in time, so we are free to use Terra's magic.
Yes, because between Figaro and South Figaro, the scene can still happen.
Yeah.
So, fun little thing where we don't know why they kept that in there for that long. Excuse me for one moment.
So one thing is, when we're running through this mountain here, we're going to want to run away from all the brawlers. And typically it's going to be most of the fights inside of the caves we're going to run away from.
That is correct. So really, there's only 2 places we really want to fight, which is outside and outside. We don't really want to fight these brawlers at all. They don't really give a lot of money or experience. So, and then also we're gonna want Locke to run away from one of these Tusker fights because we're gonna get like 3 of them, and that is for more experience riding because we really want our characters E, L, and T to be on levels 10, 9, and 8 respectively. So that way, when we have Sabin join, which is our next character that we're going to pick up, spoilers, he will be at the appropriate level so we can actually move forward a little bit more safely. So there you go with Puwexil doing a little bit of running while attacks are going on, and as you see, Locke will fill up his runaway meter and his full ATB, which are the 2 things that are required to run away, and he'll get away easy peasy. Fun note about Locke, his run meter takes less time to fill up, so he actually runs away faster than most other characters, as opposed to certain characters we'll cover on later that run away like the speed of molasses. So, as we also see here now, Puwexil taking a couple extra encounters here. We're going to need these to get our levels up, but we really don't want these Trilliums to attack us because they have a nasty attack called Bane Touch, which can poison our party members, and as we all know, poison is not the kindest thing in Final Fantasy VI, as it makes the screen look funny, it takes away damage as we walk, and it takes away life as we are in fights as well. So we don't want to see that because we would have to go into the menu and heal ourselves, and it's just all sorts of bad. Loot, boot, and toot. Huh. You know what? I can appreciate taking some time and putting in some Mimi names on your characters. But as we go forward, Puwexil's going to come up to the boss Vargas, who's been keeping an eye on us if you've been watching them walk through the mountains here. He's just a bully. I'm not sure why he wants to fight us, but apparently he wants to fight us with these 2 Apple-certified bears, the Ipus. So what we're going to want to do here is cast fire with Terra, and meanwhile, while she's casting fire, we're going to go ahead and do some equipment swapping here. We're going to equip the Mithril Pike on Edgar and the Mithril Blade on Locke. That way, Locke can do some more damage, and he's going to move to the front row. We're still going to go ahead and use auto crossbow here, and then fire. And then when we have Vargas by him lonesome, we're going to go ahead and use auto crossbow, fire, and attack respectively. So, going back to some earlier on config magic that we did, we also at the beginning of the game, we reduced the battle speed because the battle speed only affects enemies, and we maxed out the message speed. But the really cool thing that we did is we actually put it on memory cursor, which when you use ability, it won't, when your turn comes back up, it won't actually go to the front and you have to requeue the ability. It will remember what menu you were on and the last ability that you used. So we could go ahead and hold A and just queue attacks left and right. But here comes our boy Sabin, and he has a fun little ability called Blitz. Blitz is when you activate Blitz, you can put in a set of commands. In this case, we're going to do left, right, left, A, and we will use the pummel command, which will do physical damage. It is the one blitz that will actually end this fight. You can use any other blitz that you have, but it won't end the fight. So we're just going to want to go ahead and use pummel here. He actually, throughout this run, will be using 3 different blitz attacks. He has a total of 8, I believe. Yes. And the ones we will be using are pummel, suplex, and horrible. So, meanwhile, coolpantsguy is actually hot on Puwexil's tail right now. He's coming up to his Vargas fight. He looks like he's on very good step route right now, getting that encounter right before Vargas. Meanwhile, on Puwexil's side, we're going to go ahead and talk to Sabin a little bit, ask if a bear can actually help him out, because those Ipus were too flimsy. They were foreign-made Ipus. They weren't certified. So we're going to get the real bear to come and help us out on our quest here to get over to the Returner's hideout. Okay, so Puwexil is looking pretty good here. He's going to go ahead and make what seems to be a little wonky of a walk. He's going to try and walk over those non-encounter tiles that we were talking about earlier on.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, he's going to have either 1 or 2 encounters on his way up to the Returner's hideout here.
Yes. If he did it correctly, he should have only 1 encounter, which looks like he got it very well done. So we're going to go ahead and hit this Returner's hideout here. NPC, don't be a troll. All right, we're good. So that NPC that you saw on Puwexil's stream, unfortunately, if he is in the right position, he can actually block your way up to seeing Bannon, and we don't have control of our characters. That is effectively a soft lock, because at some point he gets stuck, we get stuck, and we can't move forward. But luckily that didn't happen.
You saw that the NPC actually did block him for some time there, though, just because of where he wound up, but didn't soft lock him, so...
Yep. Lucky. But with the way that these guys are going to run, it's a very unlikely occurrence that that guy will actually soft lock you. I say that as I've gotten it once in my runs. But we're going to go ahead and talk to Ben, and he's going to say something about Pandora's box, hope, and such. But we're going to go ahead and try and make decisions on our own, as everyone is trying to peer pressure Terra to do the right thing. But, you know, that's how these things go. But in the meanwhile, we're going to talk to our party members here, go ahead and get our next cutscene trigger. But before we go ahead and trigger everything, we're going to want to go ahead and requisition a couple of items out of the returner's hideout. That being 2 Phoenix Downs, an Air Lancet. I believe it is a Antidote, and the Genji Glove. 2 Phoenix Downs, Air Lancet, Genji Gloves, Antidote.
Yeah.
Yep, Puwexil's doing the fun way of doing it, which is he's going to walk up here, pick up everything afterwards, so he's going to get the Genji Glove because he has to say no to Bannon once before that. Oh, and the True Knight, that's the one I was missing. True Knight. And what you can do here is, if you do it correctly, I believe you save, I think that it was 7 frames?
Yes, 7 frames.
If you do it correctly, because we still have to say no to Bannon 3 times, you will save 7 frames by picking up the Genji Glove instead of getting the cutscene to get the Genji Glove. So all these items are very important for the run, by the way, because the Genji Glove is a very powerful item that will let us hold 2 weapons in our hand, which will be our major damage source out of Edgar now. So, back to the story. The Empire took South Figaro, so we're gonna go ahead and try and get out of here because they're hell bent to come and get the returners right now. So we're gonna go ahead and jump on a raft to go over to Narshe. Meanwhile, Locke is gonna go ahead and leave our party for a little bit here. He's gonna go ahead and try and slow them down, being the good old treasure hunter that he is. So we're gonna go ahead and get Bannon here, but before that, we're gonna go ahead again and do some river manipulation where we get only 2 encounters on the river. So we're gonna go and save here, do some nice equipments here. Equip the sprint shoes on Sabin, equip the Genji Glove on Edgar. He's gonna optimize to 2 weapons, save, and then reset. Get to the save menu once we start up the game, reset one more time, and that will set us up to manipulate the river so we only get 2 encounters instead of a arbitrary number. We'll say like 5 encounters on the river, 4 encounters. So wait for the NPC to move into the right position, easy peasy, and now we're just going to get the 2 encounters. coolpantsguy is not slowing down at all, trying to catch up to Puwexil to the best of his ability. It's looking good right now on his end. He's just going to go ahead and talk to our friends here. So Puwexil coming up to the first encounter. We're going to go ahead and run away from him because we really don't need to fight any extra encounters. And if Puwexil opts it, we're going to take a left here, and then we're going to fight the Petrodons here. But I don't know if he's going to go ahead and take the level 11 here, as it is not necessary in the Kefka at Narshe category. So he's going to go ahead and run away from those. And now, throughout the entirety of the river, he's not going to get any more encounters until he gets to the boss. So he's going to go ahead and make some changes here. He's going to move Bannon to the front row. He's going to move Edgar to the front row as well, because now Edgar is no longer going to be using the auto crossbow because he has the Genji Glove. And he's going to have the Mithril Pike and that Mithril Blade that we had earlier that was equipped to Locke. As Locke left our party, he unequipped everything, so he's going to have that equipped now. So he's going to do a lot more damage being in the front row with the Genji Glove on. So we're going to be coming up to everyone's favorite octopus teacher, if anyone's played Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. And this fight is actually very similar to the Whelk fight, where we're going to go ahead and try and override Ultro's attack pattern by triggering a counter attack. So we shouldn't be getting a thing called Delicious Morsel, where he attacks Terra if we do it correctly. So we're going to attack with Edgar, or a bolt with Sabin, change rows with Bannon, or attack with Bannon, go back to Edgar, attack, and then wait trick and cast fire. The wait trick is that the ATBs do not move forward while we're in the menu. So we're going to go ahead and do that. He's going to go ahead and ink Terra. She's going to get some nice sunshades, and we won't get the extra attack from him that would do major damage to Terra.
Yes, the reset trick does work on emulator, as well as console for the river manip.
Yes, it does. So now we're just going to go ahead and attack with everyone. It's going to be nice and easy, no big problems here. And down goes Ultros. So Sabin's being a little frisky here, and he wants to go in. We'll bop poor Ultros here, but no worries here. He's just going to, well, nope, not going to stick the landing back on the raft. I just realized this. You notice that raft is exceedingly large?
Yes, it is. It's pretty amazing.
Final Fantasy physics and logic. So we're going to go ahead and separate out here. So we have 3 scenarios here. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to proceed with Sabin's scenario first, because he's going to get some handy items at the end of his scenario that will help us very much through the other scenarios. But before we move on, we're going to go ahead and pick up a optional character here, Shadow. He's going to make this part of the game much safer, because we could go ahead and move forward without Shadow, but that would be kind of dangerous going on with Sabin by himself. So go ahead and pick up everyone's favorite ninja. I'm going to say favorite ninja.
One thing to note with Shadows, we don't actually rename him unlike the other characters, and that's just because of the fact that his name shows up so few times in this entire run that it's not worth renaming him.
Yep. That is because the only 2 times Shadows speaks is 1 text bubble after when he's leaving, and I think it's like 2 text bubbles, maybe 3 text bubbles when you first meet him. So it's not really worth renaming him. It actually takes more time to rename him than to just leave his name there. So we're going to come up to the Imperial camp right now, and yeah, they're in a fight with some people who gave rise to the Returners. So the Empire doesn't like them too much, so they're going to war. And just regular stuff. Sabin just wants to walk through. He's not really interested in the fight, but unfortunately, I think he's going to be part of it, whether he likes it.
Alright, so we got Cool Pants Guy going into his Ultros fight here.
Yep. Let's see how he does. I think he's going to do the safe methods here. Yep. So the counterattack and everything can be kind of tricky. So let's see if he ends up getting it. He gets seafood soup. Cool shades for Terra. Unfortunately, it looks like he misses it. So here comes the delicious morsel, which he's going to attack with a tentacle and do a good amount of damage to Terra. Unless he is doing the older strat, which is the Riot Blade strat. So the Riot Blade strat is that each character, minus Bannon, I believe, has a desperation attack that they can use when they're in critical damage and after a certain amount of time has passed in the battle. So if she's in critical and she uses the fight command, she has a 1 in 16 chance to use a very strong attack called Riot Blade. But it looks like Cool Pants is going to go ahead and just take this fight one step at a time here using Bannon's command of Heal, which is pretty much all he's good for, in my opinion. But Puwexil, on the other hand, is going to move forward with this Mustache Man that everyone loves and knows. And he's going to go ahead and charge up his special attack, which is called, from Sword Technique, called Retort, which is he will counter physical damage dealt to him, and that will one-shot him. So they took out the leader here, and they're going to Doma. Meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and go back and see what's going on back at the Imperial camp. Yeah, it's a very cutscene heavy side of the run.
Yes.
So, lots of mashing, lots of mashing. Could you imagine how this would be if we actually left the text speed as it was?
It'd be pretty terrible. Because even at this, like, you can still read all the text at the max speed, no problem, with even mashing through it.
Squaresoft, please, if you remake this game, skip scenes. Skip scenes, that's all I ask. So, that's General Leo there. Some story about him we don't really know. It's not really that important. So, he could be our friend if he wasn't our call back to the Empire. And we're never going to see General Leo again. So I hope everyone is ready to say goodbye to General Leo. Everyone wave goodbye. So, pointed out in the chat right there, yes, there is 2 items you can actually get from the leader. We actually want the black belt so we can sell that later for a lot of money, but we can also get a Phoenix down, which is not as lucrative. Lucrative is the word I'm looking for. So, yep, everyone wave bye to Leo. He's gone forever, never to be seen again until the next time we have a Kefka at Narshe race. So, Kefka's up to no good now that General Leo's not there, and he's going to try and make the river tasty. Tasty is the word we're going to use here. So, Sabin and Shadow is going to chase him down and see if they can go ahead and stop him. They weren't going to really stop, but yeah, saving lives seems like an important thing to do. But Kefka's no waiter, so he's going to head out. So here, Puwexil is going to go ahead and change everything back. We changed the battle speed so we can get a quicker retort from Sabin against the leader. And then we're going to go ahead and unequip Shadow of everything, just to re-equip his Imperial, and then optimize Sabin so he can get some really nice equipment that's going to make this a lot safer. So, Templar and Soldier fight, what we're going to want to do here is attack the soldiers, and then if we're lucky, we'll get a Wild Fang, and yep, 1 Wild Fang for Puwexil, which will one-shot one of the Templars, and then he'll throw the Air Lancet to kill the other one. Easy peasy. But unfortunately, during all of that hubbub, yeah, Kefka's going to go ahead and make a river of purple drink for everyone. So, raise a hand. How many people like purple drink? For anyone that raises their hand, unfortunately, you're probably taking a nap right now because purple drink's not good for your health. As a matter of fact, one could even say that it's poison. Which now it suddenly makes all the sense why they just didn't want the purple drink in the Sunny D commercials. Everything makes sense. So, these guys are going to be taking their permanent siestas, unfortunately, because they decided they wanted to have some purple drink. So, yeah, I wanted the purple drink from the commercials too. It tasted like grape. Meanwhile, Cool Pants is coming up to his Templar fight here. He's just going to go ahead and charge up the retort. Wait for the leader to attack him. Whap. Retort and one-shot him. With 683 damage. And being the leader and being a jerk that he is, he's going to get 1 more counterattack. So, unfortunately, the king is going to go ahead and take it. So, Cyan is actually going to go and tell this Doma soldier that we should go ahead and find someone that's not taking it right. So, he's going to go ahead and walk over. He's going to try and find someone. Sabin is going to go check on his family, and his wife and kid are taking these nice, super long naps. They look so very comfortable falling out of a chair and the other one in bed. Very tragic, but it wasn't bedtime, so Cyan's gonna go into a crazy rage and go attack those guys over at the Imperial camp for putting everyone to nappy time. Guys aren't in kindergarten anymore. It's not nappy time. It's the middle of the day. So Sabin here is going to go ahead and assist Cyan in his crazy rage over here. So luckily these guys are they're pushover. So what we're going to want here is attacks from everyone. Cyan is currently out of our control, but we just want regular attacks out of him because he can go ahead and use Sword Tech Dispatch, which is another part of his Sword Tech technique. First two fights are going to be easy. We're just going to go ahead and fight some grunts. Lucky preemptive on Puwexil's side. Meanwhile, on Cool Pants' side, he's going to go ahead and chase down Kefka, trying to stop the purple rain or the purple drink from being dispensed. So this fight is a little bit more luck-based because we're going to want Cyan to go ahead and just regular attack one of the grunts. That way Sabin can go ahead and Aura Bolt the Cadet, which will one-shot him, and Shadow can regular attack the other one. Obnoxious Linux guy, the rationale for doing Kefka runs instead of full runs is because the Kefka runs are a little bit more beginner friendly. It's a little bit shorter of a run. They typically time in at about an hour and a half. And if you actually like to run, which I'm doing this now, I'm actually going to go ahead and try and learn the full runs now because I'm actually having a blast with the Kefka at Narshe turn.
Yeah, and that's all it is they want people to get into this and actually get a chance to try out the run without investing the time in a full, 5-6 hours it's going to take you to learn the full runs of this game in your first runs of them.
Indeed. What is the shortest category besides any percent? Is it like 2.5 hours, 3 hours? I think is sketch percent.
It's 3.5 hours for the sketch.
Right. So, this is just a little bit of a shorter run, not as much as a time commitment. Let people get a feel for a game. So, we're taking the Tesla for a test drive right now. See if you like it. So, I believe Puwexil is doing what we're affectionately calling rainbow beams now with the Magic Tech armors. Now that we have that, we have options for fire beam, bolt beam, and ice beam. So he is using all three from what I can see here. Very cool. And meanwhile, while the beam attacks are going on, he's going to take some time, possibly go and do some inventory management. Just go ahead and move stuff that's not very important down, so we can move the important stuff up, like the Phoenix Downs, the potions, the black belt to sell later on.
Yeah, you aren't allowed to use the game over glitch in this run. It's completely banned. So
yeah, we could race the game over glitch, but it's not really that interesting of a run. It's primarily just for I want to say the memes, really. Do we consider that a meme category? But no, we don't do the game over glitch. This is a little bit more of a test of skill, so to speak. It tests how you can control your characters, how you react to certain fights, and so on and so forth. And it's actually a really fun run. Actually, now that I look at it, Cool Pants guy is he has 3 golds in his last 3 splits, so he is blazing a trail trying to catch up to Puwexil right now.
Okay, so I'm going to just quickly explain what the Swiss thing is, because we are in the first round, and it's good if we can get it all the way sooner so people actually understand what's going on. So basically, each player is going to have 4 matches, and so half the people that are in the tournament are going to be 1-0 after the end of this phase, and half the people are going to be 0-1. And then we're going to... anybody who has an 0-1 is going to be put up against each other. Everyone's got a 1-0 get put up against each other. And then there's going to be people who are 2-0, 1-1, and 0-2, and those people are going to get matched up together, and so on until we hit the final 16.
So that is our tournament format here instead of playing something like double a limb or round robin. As Puwexil sits here, and he's going to go ahead and walk through the forest and find this magical train that's going to get them away from the Empire right now. It's going to be great. Nothing can go wrong, right? Did I mention the train is a vehicle for the undead? That's one way of getting away from the Empire, but we're going to go ahead and Saban has no time for taking a trip over to the underworld, so he's going to go ahead and we're going to stop this train, this crazy train. Being on a step route here, Puwexil is going to want to take an extra encounter in cabin instead of taking one outside. This will help him later on because some of the encounters outside are kind of nasty as well, and it will set up a manipulation that we have for later on for the Velt. Taking some unfortunate hits here, he's going to take some time to heal up some of his party members as the Phantom Train can be kind of treacherous. So, moving on, we're at the no escape, or am I being trolled a little bit? Am I that far behind?
I haven't noticed you being too far behind. Sometimes it seems like you're a little bit ahead, but...
Oh, okay. I thought I see a lot of suplex hype coming out from the chat here. I thought I was behind by quite a bit. You'll have to excuse me.
No, right now they're just getting ready to jump over the train carts because Sabin needs to practice his strength. So he lifts up the other two guys on his shoulder and just starts running.
Well, he doesn't skip leg day, right?
Well, exactly.
So he's going to go ahead and do his best Naruto ninja run here. He's going to stick the landing. And what could possibly go wrong after that except chasing? So we're going to go ahead and hit this multi-purpose switch that's going to detach the train cards. It was there as intended. Oh, it also opens the door so we can get inside the regular part of the train car. Ooh. Everyone's super excited for suplex, so let's see if Puwexil is going to go ahead and give us a treat and quote unquote validate his run. Puwexil clipping through a ghost there is interesting as always. So, fun little note about Saban. So, two of his abilities of suplex and pummel actually do physical damage, but most of his other abilities are based off magical damage, which is Aura Bolt and Bum Rush and Fire Dance. So we're going to go ahead and pick up this earring here, which is going to increase magical damage of the person who has it equipped. So, Private Eyeball, it usually takes, this type of run takes about an hour, 2 hours. So, looks like Cool Pants Guy manages to make it through the hero camp and is the Phantom Forest here. Gonna go ahead and take a safety save. Safety saves are always good. Puwexil getting to the front of the flip 2 switches, and we're gonna go ahead and shut down this train, and everything will be a-okay. Minus the fact that the train is alive, and he's gonna make it so we are permanent passengers of this crazy train. So, let's see if we get a suplex. I think we're gonna get a suplex. No suplex, unfortunate. But cannot complain that he is going ahead and throwing down the Phoenix down because the train can be kind of trolly, called Evil Toot. Evil Toot is an unfortunate attack that uses random status afflictions on our party members, so we could end up with two confused party members and a berserk party member, which is no good. So, luckily, being undead enemies in this game tend to take damage, or not tends to, they take damage from restorative items, and if you're undead and you catch a Phoenix down, the Phoenix down makes you just regular dead instead of undead. So Puwexil doing extremely well. I mean, I don't blame him. He has a gold split for his Phantom Train. He actually was 50 seconds ahead of his regular run on his against his PB. So he actually sub 58, or not sub 58, sub 59 time on Phantom Train is spectacular. He is making some really good pace right now. But unfortunately, the Phantom Train still has a job to do, and he's got to pick up all these people who are asleep at Doma. So that includes Cyan's wife and kid.
So yeah, for this part of the game, we're going to be having some time where we're going to be waiting for Cyan to mourn the loss of all of his family and friends, basically.
So, luckily, during that section, well, not luckily for Cyan, but luckily for the speedrunner, we can go ahead and do some inventory management and equipment setup for the next boss. Did I say boss? Did we get a next boss?
Sort of.
Boss? Something like a boss?
Sort of.
We're gonna do something neat here. So we're gonna go ahead and equip the black belt, then the earrings apparently, and then the true knight, and then we're gonna go ahead and move some stuff around here. Yep. The best time of the tournament right now, I believe, is 25:05. I think it was just set by Magus. So, yeah, let me get some Bible thumps in the chat for our poor buddy Cyan here. So, we're just going to do some setup here. We're going to go ahead and unequip all of Cyan's equipment so we can get this nice, easy peasy glitch at the Baron Falls. So, Shadow, not being crazy, isn't going to jump off the waterfall here, and we're going to go ahead and get a full heal as well. So, funny story. So, with these enemies, what's supposed to happen, or with this set of fights, is we're supposed to keep on killing these fish that come, the piranhas, and eventually a boss is supposed to come up for us to fight. His name escapes me at the moment because we don't see that guy too often. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and trick the game a little bit. So funky things happen once Cyan dies and comes back to life. So we're going to go ahead and kill him off and bring him back to life. And then we're going to go ahead and cast his Sword Tech Retort, which does funky things when he comes back to life. He starts countering every physical attack, which is a little weird. But so what we're going to do is we're going to bring him back, then cast Suplex on the Piranha. After casting Retort, we're going to cast Retort first, and then the Suplex will miss, and then Cyan will Retort, and it will hit the Piranha with a physical attack and a magical attack. And as such, because it hits him with both, confuses the game, so we go ahead and skip the final fish to come out, so we don't have to fight him. So Puwexil pulling that off very perfectly. It's looking good so far for him. So he's going to go ahead and get to his next cutscene. Meanwhile, back on Cool Pants' run on his side, he's going to go ahead and heal up and take this a little safe. The Phantom Train can be a little treacherous. Playing it safe is it can be recommended. He's going to go ahead and come up to the Phantom Train now. We might get a little Phantom Train suplex here, but as being behind, I don't know if he does not suplex the Phantom Train. So, back with Puwexil, we're going to go ahead and rename our buddy G here, Ga, the namesake of our turn. Ooh, Cool Pants getting a... Oh. Yeah! He got an evil toot there, so it's a little rough, but he manages to get the suplex and the Phoenix down off. So everything looks good over there. So chat, I hope you're happy. We got a trainplex. Meanwhile, Puwexil's going to go ahead and walk through the belt now. The belt is a funny place because the encounters that we get on the belt are encounters we have seen already. So what we have here are the logo and the guards that we've seen at the beginning of the game. And I believe Puwexil is slightly off step route, so he might get a unfortunate encounter because being slightly off step route at this point changes the encounters that we get. Instead of getting a single ghost, we actually are probably going to get, for our first encounter coming out of Moblitz, is a 3 grasshopper fight, which is kind of, it's a little rough, but I'm sure he'll be able to push through it. So he's going to go ahead and make a couple of sales here, buy a dried meat, because we want to lure out our buddy Ga here, because he's got some stuff that we're going to need to move on in the game. So this should be the first grasshopper fight, which will be 3 of them. With Ga showing up, it's actually a weird thing, because he has a 5 and 8 chance of showing up on eligible fights. Pincers are ineligible, and certain enemy formations are ineligible as well. So let's see if Puwexil gets Ga on the first encounter. We'll check back in Cool Pants right here. He's going to go ahead and do his Cyan fight. Meanwhile, it doesn't look like Puwexil got his Ga on the first fight. So he's going to go ahead and take the second attempt here against the Triple Ghost fight. And, as you see, fighting Triple Ghost and multiple enemies in general on the belt, kind of time-consuming. So let's see if we get Ga on the second encounter. Doesn't look like it, and he's kind of low on health. Another condition that your full party needs to be alive. It looks like Puwexil is going to have to take an extra encounter here and see if he can get it. Meanwhile, Cool Pants looks like he's still on his step route pretty well here. So this might be his opportunity to catch up. He is still right behind Puwexil. Puwexil just now getting Ga on this third fight. So we're going to go ahead and throw the dried meat at him and go through a rather lengthy cutscene. So this will give us a chance to watch Cool Guy as he does his waterfall fight. So while he's doing his waterfall fight, if the chat will be kind enough to get ready to... I want to see a very certain emote when we're coming to the tail end of this this explanation and this scene right here. So third try Ga for Mr. Puwexil. As Ga runs around and says thou, thou, thou. Cool Pants is going to go ahead and set up his Piranha fights here. Cyan looks like he has a little bit too much health, so what he's going to do here is he's going to attack Cyan, put himself in critical, and then attack with Sabin, because if Cyan attacks himself while he's in critical and we have the True Knight Relic equipped, Cyan will attack himself, but Sabin will actually save him. So this is looking good right now. He's going to go ahead and put Phoenix down. So all we need to do now is switch over to Cyan, get the Tort going, and then the suplex. And we should be good there. So, good waterfall fight as we head back to Puwexil here. I want to see everyone's Kappa, as he goes through the explanation of how Gao's abilities. So Gao is an interesting character, where he doesn't have the traditional fight command. He actually has Rage, which will let him... It will let him use enemy attacks. that he has learned by using Leap on the Belt on specific enemies, and it will let him have access to that moveset. Unfortunately, once he starts the moveset, he goes in a berserk state, and you have no control over him, and he will use whatever attack he feels like using. Thank you, chat. I do enjoy seeing that much Kappa. Lots of Kappas. Kappa Pride's in there. Kappa D. So, Gaw, as per usual, we picking up child labor, has something for the group, and he has a super shiny, which will help us out to get back to Narshe, because that is still the goal. We escaped the camp, we escaped the Phantom Train, and we're still trying to get back to Narshe. So he's going to show us this single helmet that will let us breathe underwater, all three of us. So everything will be good. We'll be A-okay to move on. So meanwhile, on Cool Pants' side, he's going to go ahead and fight these levels. He's still on his way over to Moglitz. So Puwexil is going to go ahead and jump into the Serpent Train here. We don't have any real control over the Serpent Train, minus the fact that we're guaranteed to get 4 encounters, and we're going to want to take 2 forks in the road. One is going to be right, and one is going to be left. Taking the right fork will take us to a cave and reduce our encounters by 1. And going to the left will give us an extra encounter, but we will get no cave. We want to take the first right because the cave that we have to go through is very small. And then we want to take the second left because the cave is very long and the encounter is shorter. But the other thing we don't want to see here is the Anglerform encounter first, which Puwexil did not get, luckily. A single Anglerform can use a nasty attack, Aqua Rake, which can do some major damage to our party. Then he's just going to go ahead and run from this second. Meanwhile, on Cool Pants' side, he got first try Gao here. He got the single encounter as well. Just bop the ghost real quick, and Gao shows up, and now we're in the Gao scene. Here goes Puwexil taking his left here. A little bit unfortunate of a pincer attack. So, as I said before, Gao is kind of weird with his thing, so we're kind of hoping that he will attack the left enemy so we can get away, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So, Puwexil is going to go ahead and try and fight his way out of it. So, Cyan deciding he's going to play nice and attack the right one, but Gao is attacking the left one and has the Sabin, so he's just going to clean up this entire fight. Looks good. So he has one more, and it should be 2 Anglerforms? Anglerforms, yes. 2 Anglerforms. This fight's not as terrifying because the Anglerforms will not use Aqua Ray. So while we find our way to Nakia here, I just want to go ahead and give a shout out to Asasa CZ. Thank you for subscribing. We appreciate your support.
So one thing I want to note is that for the cutscene that Cool Pants is in right now, he's actually able to just hold down A throughout this cutscene, and then the text will progress at the soonest possible point, whereas other points in the game you can't do that. It's only in the battle cutscenes that you can just hold down A.
That is correct. So I believe that there is 3.
Yeah.
3 cutscenes like that. There's the Kefka when he's running away, the Gao cutscene, this cutscene at the beginning of the game, and the saving cutscene. So 4 off the top of my head. But it looks like Puwexil cleaned up here. So while in Nakia, he actually picked up a couple of. I believe he bought the mithril pipe. And he bought smoke bombs, which is very important. Smoke bombs let us escape from battles, even if we're in a pincer. So we're going to want that because the next scene that we're in is going to be very dangerous. We're going to have Locke. He's in South Figaro. Lots of things are going to happen. He's by himself. He's behind enemy lines. He's going to have to steal some clothes and items and do some other stuff. And did I mention none of that is real? He's just going to clip past this soldier and he's going to find his way out of town. Yes, Ultro as well. So the Ultros fight is one that you can hold A with. So battle scenes like that, you can hold A and progress the text boxes. Outside of battles, we actually have to mash A. So as we see here, Locke is by himself and it can be kind of dangerous. We want those smoke bombs. What we also want is Locke to have equipment on. We equipped him with the extra sprint shoes that we had, and we moved him down a position because with fights like this where we have a gold bear and an enemy, if we get into a pincer attack and we're in the top slot, our back is to the gold bear, and the gold bear with, I believe the name of the attack is Gouge, can one-shot Locke, which is no good for anyone. So we go ahead and take our safety time and put him down one slot. I see the chat is saying something about a character named Celis. Celis? Who's Celis?
There is no Celis. That's what they're saying. There's no Celis. There's only General Kutan.
General Kutan. You talking about that Moogle from earlier on?
Yeah. It's a pretty awesome Moogle.
Wow, part of the Empire, I understand. So meanwhile, Locke, we took a small detour to pick up the Thunder Rod, which is a cool item. And Locke by himself can't really fight the ton of armor, so we're going to go ahead and use this Thunder Rod, which is a wonderful thing because it uses a level 2 lightning attack, which is Thundaga. And a fun thing about it is it breaks on use, but it also pierces magic defense. So one use of it, boom, Thunder Armor is gone. So I hope you guys didn't blink because that's the end of the Locke scenario. Puwexil taking a little safety save here of going into the Terra scenario. Meanwhile, Cool Pants is in the Circuit Trench. He ended up getting the same pincer attack that Puwexil got, so he managed to clean up the fight very well. I also can confirm now, I wasn't 100% sure, but he did buy the Mithril Pipe, so he's going to go ahead and skip the Rune Blade, which the Rune Blade is used more for the sketch percent category because of monetary constraints. So we're going to go ahead and just smoke bomb our way out of these encounters on Puwexil's side. Meanwhile, Cool Pants is still trying to catch up here. These guys like to take their nice, easy time running away, but that's not to be unexpected. So if you remember that the runaway meter for each character, like Locke is a little bit shorter and the other guys have a standard one. Cyan actually has a larger meter than most other characters, where it takes him the longest to fill that meter, and it takes him longer to run away. So in this case, in certain cases, we would like him to be taking a nap right now, but it also makes the Serpent Trench a little bit more dangerous. So meanwhile, Puwexil going through the special hidden door that we came out of. This is one of the reasons why that this category is so cool, because we start at Narshe and we end at Narshe. A really cool category, in my opinion. A cool way to just say you've come full circle. So, Cool Pants is going to go ahead and do his shopping. He's going to buy his smoke bomb, buy his mithril pike, and jump on his boat and start up his lock scenario. Meanwhile, here on Puwexil's side, he's going to go ahead and go through this security checkpoint. So here, what we're expected to do is we're expected to follow the light. But being speedrunners, we don't like following. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna trigger the light, but with a handy dandy holding of A before the light even starts, we'll trigger getting that little gold spark, thus disabling the security checkpoint, and we can just go ahead and walk through. So Puwexil's coming up to close to the end of the run. Meanwhile, Cool Pants is going to go ahead and equip Luke here, equip the spring shoes, and let's see if he manages to get the clip. It's looking good. Excellent. First try clip is always a good feeling. So while Puwexil finishes up this section of the run and Cool Guy is doing the lock scenario, I just want to remind everyone the Kefka at Narshe tournament, where we have, I believe it's 75 contestants, 75 racers in this tournament. And if you guys have a chance, if you catch a couple of these races, you should give just about any of these guys a follow. Puwexil is definitely worth a follow, as is Cool Pants. And as if you have wandered in here, give RPG Limit Break a follow. And kudos to our restreamer, Riku Player. You should definitely give Riku Player a follow. He is doing some great work here on the back end. And yeah, you can go ahead and give me a follow. I'll shameless plug myself here. I'll show myself a little bit. Go ahead and give me a follow as well. My name is Scratch Dragon, as Riku Player has generously displayed in the Twitch chat.
So Puwexil's at the point of the game where it's just a lot of mashing that he gets to do. As everyone meets up from all the scenarios now, and we all meet each other, and we're all happy, and have to decide how we're going to deal with this evil clown that's been causing all these problems.
Yeah, that guy's a jerk. Has a good laugh though. A good jovial laugh. So all our guys are catching up here. Sabin's finding his way back. Edgar's gonna find out that the Kingdom of Doma has gone the way of Mr. Fishy, who's just taking a nap right now. And who's that? Do we know who that is? Do you know who that is? Never seen this person in my life.
That definitely looks like our Moogle, General Kutan, that we are going to put in a party and leave there.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Locke had some voices in his head, and it turns out the voices in his head took the form of a Moogle. Now, go figure. Who knew that those Moogles at the beginning of the game was part of the Empire all along? So in comes Kefka. Kefka wants that Esper, and he wants it bad. So he's gonna march off with these soldiers here and head up to Narshe and go ahead and take that Esper back. So here we go. We're gonna have a little talky talk with each one of our characters here. So something about Locke's past is complicated, and something about General Kutan having magic. I've never Kutan ever used magic in my life, but sure. And then Cyan not trusting the Empire. I mean, they only served him Kool-Aid. I don't know why he's so mad. So Looks like Puwexil is going to go ahead and start the Kefka fight without a safety save here. So we're just going to do the same mini game that we had at the. We're going to go ahead and walk by the soldiers and set up one party and then fight Kefka, which will conclude our race. So, bar any real fiasco here, it looks like Puwexil is in a prime position to take this race. Let's see here. He's going to go ahead and switch over to this party. Here we go. So same technique applies. You want to stay out of the soldier's way, and then walking by you, you're gonna want to go ahead and. Well, I didn't know you could walk up there. We're gonna go ahead and walk by them. Up. So, and then we're just gonna go ahead and fight Kefka here. So Kefka is an interesting fight here. So what happens here is. What we're going to want to do is we're going to want to attack with Edgar, cast Dispatch with Cyan, use Aura Bolts with Sabin, Wake Trick one of the Aura Bolts depending on Kefka's ATB, and use Hornet with Gal, and then do as much damage as possible so he doesn't get a third turn. If he gets a third turn, he can use a nasty attack, which is an AoE Ice 2, which could do some real damage to the party. It's effectively a wipe, which is yeah, it's no good. So we want to get him, and we want to get him down quick.
Yeah, we have seen 2 matches in this tournament where the ice or the bolt that you could get have gone off and almost wiped parties.
So just to answer a question in the chat real quick while Puwexil finishes up. Where could we get information on how to get involved or help out?
I'm not sure if you can get involved or help out with this tournament, but we do have information for the tournament in general at these links here.
Yep.
So we have Puwexil finishing with an official SRL time of 1:26.26.
Very good time. Let's get some GGs in the chat for Puwexil here. Current record in this category, I believe it's a 124.
124.37.
Yeah, it's a 124.37. So GG's to Puwexil. He will take this race here. Meanwhile, everyone, I want you to give coolpantsguy some energy here so he can finish up. It looks like he's gonna beat his PB by a sizable margin. It looks like his PB is a 139.02, and he is currently at a 127. So I want the chat to go ahead and give him all their energy. So this is a partial run, just to answer another question in the race. We only fight up to Kefka at this in this category. Full game runs can be seen, as a matter of fact, by Puwexil, and there's a multitude of other streamers that actually do full game runs of this. This is an intro category to see if we can add to our ranks of people who are interested of actually learning entire game runs of this. So, just to reiterate how the tournament structure works, we are actually playing in Swiss format. So, Puwexil will go 1-0 right now. So, his next round, as this is only round 1, his next round is he will play against another 1-0. Coolpantsguy will go into the lower bracket, which is the 0-1, and he will play against another 0-1. And I believe we have 5 rounds of this, 5 or 6, or it's 4 rounds of this. So 4 rounds of Swiss. So Coolpants is not out of the tournament, by any means. He still has a good chance of qualifying. He was just up against some very stiff competition in this one. Puwexil is a almost synonymous with RPG speedruns at this point. He did GDQ for Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy IV, Chrono Trigger. I know he runs a multitude of games, and he has been a part of the speedrunning forever. So, coolpantsguy has put up a really good fight here, considering that his time is a little. The time differential between Puwexil's PB and his current PB is quite large. As the first round was actually everyone was chosen at random to who they would play against, so it wasn't we didn't do it based off time or of that nature. To answer the question, in what console is this being played? There's a couple of different people or different ways to play. I know Ritz Blues was actually playing on Wii U. Emulator is accepted. If you have a SNES Classic, that is also accepted. I personally play on my original Super Nintendo. I'm pretty sure Puwexil plays on his Super Nintendo as well. I can't speak for all the runners, but typically it's either Super Nintendo or an accepted substitution for that. If you would like, you could play on the PS1 version of it, but I wouldn't recommend it. So here we go, guys. Cool Pants is coming up to his Kefka fight, so let's get some support for him as he finishes up. So he's going to go ahead and do the same kind of thing. This fight is pretty clinical at this point. Going to want to Aura Bolt and attack with Egger. You can use one of two abilities with Gao, Exocyte or Hornet, and then you're going to want to dispatch with Zion. So as you see, Sabin's actually in a very tight spot, but he manages to pull through very well. So, do we have a SRL time for Cool Pants?
Yeah, his official SRL time is a 1:32:21, and looking at his splits, it is a 2-minute PB for him. So GG to him.
Yep.
We do have another set of matches coming up.